Say that. We're
So
saying
you've
that
just seen me in here.
I've seen you there. You don't have to show me in the mirror.
What? You told me to tell you.
No, I didn't. No, you see, you've twisted my word. You said tell.
You said show. You said prove.
No, I didn't.
You said prove to me.
There you go. So I'm looking for evidence now.
So your eyes aren't proof. So you don't believe your own eyes.
I'm going to be honest with you. Anybody got a pen on them? Who's got a pen? No pen, please, Russell.
Yeah.
So you're saying seeing is believing. Thank you very much. Is seeing believing then? Or is it subjective now?
Seeing is perceiving.
Hold on a second. That means that my eyes perceive something. They didn't actually. It's not a fact then. And I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm talking about proof. There you go. You can have my mirror back. Now you have to prove it to me. You can't go flooring your own arguments. You're letting me win on this one. It's not good here. So now you have to prove it to me. I'm letting you do this. Take my phone. If you want to run off with it, it's only 100 quid. I'll buy another one.
Anyone else want to help me out here?
Raj, over to you. Anybody want to help? I'm open to it. Because I was going to my other argument. Whose pen is this?
I'll help you run.
Yours. Wallahi, if I die, I can take it from you because I don't want to be held accountable on this. Okay. Because I said it's seeing believing.
I don't understand why you seeing something.
Yes.
Here and then you see something here is different. Why are you challenging what you see in this
I'm not saying it's different. Did I ever say it was different?
You said it's not proof.
Yes, I did.
So am I standing before you now?
Yes, you are.
And that's
You need to understand something. You're talking to a religious person. I believe in testimony. You've got a problem. You don't believe in testimony.
I do believe in testimony. Well, of course I do, because otherwise, why would I be here speaking to people?
Okay.
Because I believe what people tell me to. Maybe I'm gullible.
Steady on. They've taken that word out of the dictionary, you know.
Taken that word out of the dictionary. Have they really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Everyone's like, what are they on about? But because the other thing that I was going to say, and I'll say this to you, Roger, if seeing is believing, then in theory, see this pen, is it rigid or is it flexible?
I don't know, because I haven't felt it.
That's not the point. If seeing is believing, then it's bendy. It's bendy. But in actual fact, it's actually solid. So seeing is not believing. No, I won't use it again.
Yes.
And I don't want to be held accountable for that on Yom Kippur as well.
But you didn't say, let me persuade me to believe that this is your reflection. You said, prove to me that this is your reflection.
Because remember, we're talking about evidence. Raj, my friend here, is talking about evidence. He turned around and said, I look for evidence. And I turned around and said that you live your life as a hypocrite. Because if you don't believe in testimony, then you're flooring the basics.
But
which
testimony
is
could be part of evidence. Testimony could be part of evidence.
I don't have a problem with this. This I do not have a problem with. For example, we were discussing the periodic table. Andy was talking to me, thank you very much. Andy was talking to me about the periodic table earlier on. For example, the gravity. Who's got something? Yeah, this will do. Gravity. Do I believe that gravity exists? Yes, I do. How do I know that it exists? It's as simple as this. You do that. I can test it. I personally, fat man sitting in a park, getting a little bit, I'm quite chilled out here, can actually test the theory of gravity. I don't have an issue with this. However, testing the theory of the Big Bang, testing the theory of evolution, you're well off. Because now what we're doing is we're turning around and saying we believe in evidence, and there's loads of evidence for the Big Bang, there's loads of evidence for evolution. Yet nobody has checked this evidence. We're going by books and what other people said. That's testimony. This is a really flawed argument.
Yeah, but you're also going by a book. You call it the Bible or you call it the Quran.
Yes.
That's also a book. So that book was a scientific book.
No, but you need to understand something. I don't rely on evidence. I also rely on testimony, Raj. I openly said this. I said that I do base my life around testimony. I also base it around reality, so what I'm doing here and now.
But you don't believe everything that's been told to you, do you? You're sceptical. You were sceptical about BBC News just now. You use other faculties to what you believe. You don't just believe testimony.
But hold on a second. But I didn't say that I do. I didn't say that I do. I never said that. I never claimed that.
You said you believe in testimony, and you said you believe in testimony.
Do I believe in all testimony? No, because what my theory is, if somebody comes to me, and this is part of my religion as well, if somebody comes to me about bad news or some news about a Muslim, I then have to go verify it myself. So there's the testimony coming to me from a Muslim source, and my religion tells me.
How can you verify the hadith? How can you verify what you read in the Bible and what you believe in that?
The hadith in itself, if we're going to talk about Quran, the challenge of the Quran has been set for 1400 years. I know you weren't here, maybe you were here for my talk, I don't know if you were, but my talk spoke about the fact that 1400 years ago, the challenge of the Quran, there's no book in the world which says that if you think that this is from him or if you think this is from man, then produce a chapter like it and bring your witnesses to evidence what you've done. This is about the linguistic miracle of the Quran itself, and it's never been reproduced. At the time when the revelation of the Quran came, very important fact was the fact that the Arabs of the time, they were Arabists. So they were professionals in the Arabic language. And now I'm talking linguistically here. And the actual Quran itself, it's not poetry, yeah, and it's not prose, it's not a statement. It's a unique infusion of the both of them. Now the fact of the matter is that using the... 29, isn't it? Yeah. 29 letters of the alphabet, Arabic alphabet. I was going to go through it because I always get confused. How many does English have? 26. 26 in English, 29 in Arabic. I'll get it right one day. But using those 29 letters of the Arabic alphabet, you now have to produce one chapter. The shortest chapter in the Quran is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which is, it divides the chapters basically. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar, fasalli li rabbika wanhar, inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. That's how short it is. Yeah? And now what we're saying is 3 verses. What we're saying is we're challenging you. We're challenging you. Bring a chapter like it. That's what we're saying. The minute that you do that, the Quran's null and void. And me personally, I openly say this. This is filming. I'll probably go on YouTube. I'll turn around and say this. If you can do this, I will denounce Islam because I know it will never be done. It's as simple as that. And this is the profanity of it. Historically, I spoke about the historical miracles within the Quran. I spoke about scientific miracles within the Quran. I talk about the linguistic miracle of the Quran itself. The actual book itself, in itself, is a miracle. So therefore, this is something that cannot be denied. This is why, as Muslims, what you'll find, and I remember speaking to a non-Muslim about this. Is that, what are you? I'm a Muslim, and they're like, oh yeah, interesting. Then we got into a bit of a discussion actually, which is quite interesting because it says, you know, if I was any religion, I'd have to be a Muslim. I said, why? It says because they seem to be the firmest in their faith, and that's because the challenges are there. And the thing is, we don't deny half of the stuff that Christians and Jews deny. We believe in the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We believe in the Quran. The fact of the matter is that we believe that Jesus was the way, the light, and the truth. I believe this purely because when he came with revelation. He's a prophet of ours. And we go up to Moses, peace be upon him, and David, peace be upon him. The Jews relate to him as well. Bani Israel, the children of Israel. We agree with them. We believe in the Torah. So in itself, Muslims are the ones who believe in everything, but nobody else seems to like us for some reason. But that's a different side point. However, what I'm saying is that
the Jews say the same thing then.
I like the Jews. They're quite cool people. When you have an in-depth discussion, what you tend to find is that people are ignorant of their own religions, and it's interesting to see this. The fact of the matter is, I always say, if you have a problem with your mobile phone, you're always going to go back to the manual. That is the Quran. If you don't go back to the Quran, then there's a flaw in your argument straight away. If you can't find it in the book or you don't understand it, then what you do is you pick up the phone, you call technical support, don't you, and say, look, I'm having a problem with this. The manual says do this. I've tried it. It doesn't seem to work. Could you run me through it? Yeah, and this is what hadith is. This is exactly it. That the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, actually came with the Quran. It was the revelation. We then use the hadith, and the science of hadith is amazing. You know, the science of hadith. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. The science. Alhamdulillah, kullu tamam. Anta. The actual science of hadith is so powerful in itself that the scholars who narrated the hadith or the saying, they were actually tested to see if they were mixed up, to see who they studied under, to test their actual ability to remember things.
I heard that the hadith was written many hundreds of years after Muhammad lived.
Now, what are you relating to? Which hadith?
I don't know.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. The hadith in itself, you're talking about Bukhari and Muslim. Yes, they did come after Rasul, but this is about writing. However, what I'm talking about is also oral transmission.
And oral transmission is great, but it can't necessarily be accurate.
Exactly. So what happens
the
in
next
that
day, let alone
what happens in that instance?
You have to get more people to try and
if
corroborate.
they all agree with this, then it can be deemed as fit. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is exactly the science of hadith. I'm glad you said this because this is how they were tested, and this is Islam in itself. It's the comprehensive, the science of hadith. You are talking about it, simple as that. And this is the importance that we put on the religion because of the test that you said this would suffice, and you would say it would suffice.
It depends what it was trying to claim.
Give me an example.
Well, was there such a person as Muhammad, or was there such a person as whoever?
Right.
And then what did he actually do? And what was his message? Or what was that
That's
kind
a really
of thing?
good question. That is a really good question. Now you've got to ask yourself, if there was a man called Muhammad, I'm going to take the assumption that there was a man called Muhammad, peace be upon him. I'll say Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means peace be upon him in Arabic. Okay, so if I do say that, I'm just saying peace be upon him in Arabic, so don't take offense to it. Okay, that makes sense. Fine.
Heard it before.
Heard it before.
Okay.
Brilliant. That's good.
Been in Egypt and Palestine. It's okay.
Say again.
Been in Egypt and Palestine. So
Brilliant. Okay.
I'm a Londoner, so I got it here. So.
What part of London are you from?
Turnpike Lane.
No way. You're North
Yes.
Londoner. Respect to you, sister. I'm from Enfield, so. Yeah. No, but what I'm going to say.
Okay, so
What was the question?
I was going to say that you were talking about the science
about
of
the Prophet.
hadith.
If I was to take the view that the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him existed, right, I would say, what did he achieve in his life? When the Quraysh, the people of the time, the tribes of the time, actually said to him, you know what? If you want women, we'll give you women. You want power, we'll give you power. If you want money, we'll give you money. Whatever it is, just denounce this preaching of the one God. and we'll give you whatever you want. I'm going to be honest with you, if somebody came to me with that offer, inshallah I won't denounce Islam. But women and money and power, let's be honest about it, this is what everyone wants. Yeah? Apart from women.
Even I want women.
I mean, it depends. I'm not going to say which team you back for. I got nothing to do with that, okay? But what I'm going to say is that this is what a lot of people go for. The other thing is, women love to be married or associated with a man who has power. I don't know where that comes from. But they psychologically, it's really weird how they do that. But this is the fact of the matter. That if this man existed, what did he achieve? If he has not left multi-billion pound, cash ISA for his, I'll use today's terminology, for his kids and for his companions, then he wasn't any use to them. Did he leave anything for them? The Quran and the Sunnah. That in itself says everything. That the man came with nothing. The man left with nothing, but he came with the message of preach to one God. He didn't turn around and say worship me. He didn't turn around and say give me money. He never even turned around and said I want a woman, basically.
I'm sure sometime he wanted a woman.
Did he say he wanted a woman?
I'm sure.
After he married Khadija, he was so distraught by her passing away that he basically refused everything. He was so hurt by the fact that she passed away. This was the woman that basically, you know, they say there's a behind every strong man is a rock.
So you believe that because a number of people recorded it in the Hadith?
Yes.
And that's why you believe it?
Yes. I also believe that the Quran is correct because the challenge of the Quran has never been met.
Because it's almost as impossible as the Big Bang to try and test. Because
Why
it was
is
written
that?
so many thousands of years ago, because there's so many...
So that means that to this day, 1400 years ago, if like I spoke of the Arabists of the time, in theory that would actually mean that we would have had at least one pamphlet. I'm not saying a book, I'm saying one pamphlet from the people of the time, especially the Quraysh, who absolutely hated the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They would have said, look, we met the challenge of the Quran. This is the case, right? However, it wasn't done in that day. To this day, it has not been done. So therefore, even that, your argument is flawed. Otherwise, they would have achieved it then. And there is not even one pamphlet. There is not even, I'll rephrase it, there's not even one sentence in one pamphlet which has claimed to do that and then specify what it is.
I think it depends on whether you are saying that you believe in exactly every single word that the Quran says, either in your language, translated, or whatever it is, or the essence of what's each phrase called? A sun? Ayah.
Which is a sentence. This is the Arabic word for sentence. What do you mean by that? Because if I'm honest with you, what you do is you need to... This is where Quran and Hadith overlap. Aisha radiallahu anha actually used to say that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was actually the walking, talking Quran. And the reason that is because everything that he said is wahi, it's revelation. Yeah. So therefore, everything that he says is a revelation from God. Agreed with this. So if the Quran is the revelation, what you've done is this is the word of God, the literal word of God. We call it Kalam Allah, the word of Allah, and this is His wording. However, the time that it was revealed, this is where the Hadith is so strong. The time that it was revealed, the instance that it was revealed in, who was there when it was actually revealed, are important to that particular verse that you are referring to. Does that make sense? To the point that Numan Ali Khan actually goes into quite an in-depth explanation of Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, just one sentence, which is the first of the opening. It's called the first surah, the first chapter. He goes into an explanation of the way that the words are even placed. It could have at one point been referred to by the Christians and said, look, we're correct in accordance with the Quran. But the way that the Arabic is used, even the Christians can't even claim that. That's how profound it is. And that's the first verse of the Quran. Praise be to the Lord of the worlds. That's all it is. It's praise be to the Lord of the worlds.
But when you're talking about Muhammad was it Muhammad or was that somebody else that would never have another woman after?
Yes, because of his emotion.
Yeah, it was Muhammad.
It was Muhammad.
So after his first wife died?
Yes.
He didn't have any other women.
I didn't say that. I said he didn't want to because of the loss that he felt.
This 9 wives, didn't it?
ثمانية أزواج.
It's fine. No, at least 9.
Yeah.
It's fine.
ثمانية أزواج.
At the time. At one time.
So in itself,
one died.
Well, you said that there's a part which states that he didn't want another woman. He was so distraught by her, so he didn't want another
woman. He married afterwards. He didn't marry afterwards. But you need to understand something. Have you been married? Do you have a partner? What are you doing tonight? No, I'm joking. Okay, no, seriously. Okay, this is something interesting. Just sit here in the park and see where they turn up. They come to meet. In itself, this is the profanity of it, is that if I love my wife enough, just for the record, just in case you want to know, I'm joking, is that if I love my wife enough and she was to pass away, now imagine this, I was poor, she gave me money. I was hungry, she fed me. I was brought up as an orphan, she basically looked after me. Yeah? She was a very wealthy businesswoman. She was very well respected in society. Her lineage was a really respectable, and the Arabs, the lineage thing is very important to the Arabs, it's an honor thing. Her lineage was very, very robust. It was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very good lineage. Yeah? This was, and when everybody denied him, that he wasn't a prophet, she was the one that says, I believe him. And this comes from the fact that when he went to, when he was instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was instructed by Sheikh Jamil. Where is his milkshake, yeah? Milkshake, banana flavour, okay. One second, Hashim, because I'm heading out in a bit. Listen, the chair's got, where's Sheikh? I've got his chair, man, I'm sitting down on it. Where are you going? I'm talking at the moment. Give me 2 minutes, inshallah. It's a Jamil 2 minutes though, so it could be up to 4 hours. Okay. He's thrown me now. Oh yeah,
lineage, good lineage.
When the good lineage. So just imagine having all of these characteristics and everything that she's done for you. When your mother has done all of this for you, imagine it's like your mother. Would you ever accept anybody else as your mother?
Possibly, after many years of grief.
Spot on. Anything that Rasul said. That's exactly what it's like. He went through that grief because he was an orphan. He was very poor. This is the life that he went through. He was also known as Sadiq al-Amin. So he was the truthful, the trustworthy. And this was, I was coming on to this actually before Hashim interrupted, is that when he was told to proclaim his message, he actually went to the hills and he said, if I was to say to you, there was an army behind me, would you believe me? And everybody said, yes, we would. And these were not the believers of the time, these were non-believers. This was when he was told to talk about the message. So therefore it goes to show that even the non-Muslims trusted him in this. So therefore,
even
the man...
Because they used to keep stuff with them, like to keep it with them after they used to get back.
I'm going to have to leave in literally 6 minutes because I need to...
We haven't got time, we just haven't got time.
We haven't. What you can do you mind if I give you a book or something? You can ask some more questions if you want.
Yeah.
You've got some,
one last question.
Yeah,
why do you come here?
Why do I come here? I'm going to be honest, I was a bit bored today. No, I'm joking. What it is, I'm actually a regular to Hyde Park. I believe that people don't know about Islam. I also believe the Muslims need to know about me. No, I'm joking. That the people are not talking about Islam in its true essence. We have a cultural Islam today, and that is very, very, very segregated, you could say, from the real religion. That's why I talk about Quran and Sunnah, which is the Quran and the Hadith in itself, because I want to talk about the purity of the religion of what Islam is, as opposed to what your culture is, as opposed to what your family says. And I believe that,
which is all testimony, isn't it?
Which is all testimony. I admit that, like yourself, you will come and speak to me, and I will speak to people. I'm not here to chop your head off or anything like that. I'm here to actually engage with you. I want to talk to you about Islam, and I want to talk to you about the message that I would say all of us believe in here. Because ultimately, if you were to go home tonight and you were to ask for guidance, you would be talking to yourself. This is true. Because you wouldn't go up to any kind of a God. You will be at your own side, at your own bed. You will be in your bed potentially, and you will say, Lord or God, if you are there, then guide me or show me the path. And that goes to show, we call it fitrah, which is a natural disposition. It's in there, the innate disposition, that the Creator is listening to you and He is one. This is it.
We all have the capacity for self-reflection, though, don't we, whether we believe in the God or not. And that's where it starts.
And this is what Islam is all about. This is the fact of the matter. So, anyway, does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you have any more questions before I listen to yours? Because I'm actually working on it.
So many, but I can't.
Well, you can do, I'll give you the email address as well, and you can just keep emailing through. I'm here on a regular basis. I have some friends here. I have a lot of brothers who just randomly turn up. Easier a bit. Where's the other? There's a couple of them that stood around a bit ago. They're quite here on a regular basis. You can approach any of them. To be frank with you, anyone with a beard could probably answer a lot of your questions. If they don't have a beard, don't trust me. No, I'm joking. But as a general rule, we're all open to this kind of stuff. What you'll find is there are certain people who are regulars, and we're open to this kind of information.
You don't believe in evolution?
I don't believe in evolution at all. In yourself?
But what if someone that you really trusted told you that was right? If you believe in testimony, someone that you trusted or a group of people, that they did decide, yes, evolution is correct. If you said that you believe in testing, would you then take that?
No, I would actually basically turn around to this and issue a Herculean foundation. I mean, sorry, I'm not talking about it. There is a person who done this, and he was a very, very well respected person. And I don't agree with his opinion.
I think I saw him the other day, Quilliam Foundation.
Yes.
Yes.
Osama Hassan. He does have a similar chain of thought as yourself. He does believe in a certain evolution theory. I do not take that opinion. I don't agree with him on that opinion either. However, this is not a scientific point of view I'm talking from. I'm talking from a religious point of view, because the first creation was Adam, peace be upon him. Absolutely.
No problem. So, why Islam does allow 4 wives?
Why does Islam allow 4 wives? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed it in the Quran. There's the answer for it. I'm not going to try and vouch for it. I'm going to be honest with you. If I was talking from a personal perspective, and this is not anything to do with Quran and Sunnah, this is a personal perspective, it's as simple as this. In Islam, we are not allowed to have sex outside marriage. No, we're not allowed to have sex outside marriage. So therefore, you can get married. Now here's an issue for you. If you marry someone and you find, and I'm going to be honest with you, in today's society, my friend, it is all about people and their intellectual clique, you could say, as opposed to their religion bringing them closer together. And what you tend to find is there's a cultural clash and the families end up falling out. That poor girl will pretty much never be married again. And she may well even have a kid. So what do? Do you divorce your own wife and then marry another one to try and save her because she's going through hardship? Or do you keep her and then you say, right, as Islam says, I now need to divide my heart, I need to divide my time, and I need to divide my money as well, my wealth, with her. Between the two of them, you now have to divide everything. Is that not a solution? Yeah. Is that not a solution?
Muslims have been able to change those. Muslims are developing people just like anybody else. Why is it not possible for it to develop into a possibility where a woman who is divorced is not seen as something that should be untouched or damaged?
I'm going to be honest with you. If you listen to the last sermon, this is where you were wrong actually, Alexa. I have to correct you on this. You said Muslims. I said the cultural aspect. This is the difference, is that the culture says one thing, Islam says the other thing. Islam says that the Rasul last hadith, the final sermon, actually said that there is no difference between an Arab and a non-Arab. There's no difference between basically humanity. There's no difference between a black man and a white man, and an Arab and a non-Arab. The whole lot. The fact of the matter is there's no difference in people here. The culture dictates what they do, unfortunately. And this is where it relies. And the other thing is,
but you said it was the culture that would basically denounce that woman as unmarriable again if she was divorced.
Yeah.
Not the religion.
No, it's just the culture.
Yeah.
So why can't you divorce them?
We can divorce. We can divorce. If we need to, we can. I'm not saying we should or we shouldn't. I'm saying we can if we need to. But that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying
you can divorce or you can have another wife.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But remember the jurisdiction: money, time, and heart. So that is the jurisdiction.
So you have to share them equally, don't you?
Absolutely.
Money, time, that's a big deal.
Imagine this. There was a narration where I heard that a man will be, on Yom Al-Qiyamah, on the Day of Judgment, a man will be taken from, I'll quote you a hadith first of all. The best of you is the one who is best to you. Where are you going? Hashtag failure, man. Mansoor, you going as well? Hashtag failure times 2. Okay. Is that the best of you is the one who is best to his wives. Listen to this and then think about how some people, I'm not going to say Muslims, I'm not going to say non-Muslims, I'm going to say people treat their wives. Yes? The best of you is the one who's best to his wives. Yeah, on top of that, the other hadith is the fact that a man will be taken Yawm al-Qiyamah and he will be asked about the women in his life. His mother, his daughter, his wife and his sister. And they will all be asked, was he good? Did he look after you? Did he do this, and that? All the questions will be there. If one of them says no, then see you later, alligator. This is what it's going to be like. Yes. Yeah. This is how profound. People are missing this point, and it is something that we really, I'm going to say we as Muslims really need to switch on to, because the minute that your wife, your mother, your sister, or your daughter turns around and says, he was rubbish, khalas. And this khalas Arabic finish. Enough. That's it. You know what's going to happen? Your body is going to be thrown into a fire where your skin will be. You know what they say about fire? Does anybody know about this? Is that when you burn your skin, what actually happens?
It gets back again.
No, it doesn't. In actual fact,
you don't feel pain.
Yeah, you don't feel pain. Do you know why? The receptors are at the top of the skin.
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
so
And
deep.
now get this. So imagine if you burn yourself, you'll never feel the pain again. And guess what? In the hellfire, your skin will be recreated, and it's categorically
and
said
again
your
and again.
skin will be recreated again and again and again. So you will feel that pain. And there was also this another analogy, of is it not true that jinn are made from smokeless fire? Because we believe in jinn, which are not human beings, but they're the other creations. And they're made of smokeless fire, so they are fire. Yes, they are. Well, how is it that the shaitan, Iblis, Satan, will be thrown into the fire and basically he will feel the pain? You know what the answer was? You got a slap, because skin on skin contact actually pains. It's exactly the same as the fire on fire. So every man and jinn, what's a jinn in Arabic? In English?
Genie.
Genie.
Genie, is it a genie?
Yeah, spirit.
It's
Spirit,
a
really.
spirit, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Spirit.
spirit.
These creatures of smokeless
A
fire.
spirit, like the noun, not.
Yeah. Otherwise, you could say inside soul.
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah,
So, this is where that comes from as well, and it's a very, very profound.
So if you believe in testimony, how can you believe in hell? Because no one's gone to hell and come back again.
You see, now you need to ask me what testimony is, Alexis.
What is testimony?
The Quran. I believe in the Quran. That's testimony. That's it. That's how I believe in hellfire.
This is where we disagree, I think. This is where.
Yeah, Sheikh. You're waiting for me.
No.
Yallah, it's 3 minutes over. I'm going. Alexis, thank you very much. I would love to
Thank
shake your
you.
hand, but again, I would have to marry you, Raj. Thank you very much. So it's been if you do have any questions, please, I will give you some.
If I find some testimony from the Quran says you can check my hand, can check.
Absolutely. It also says you have to marry me. We'll do that as well.